comes Earnhardt.
This is Talladega, where speed meets spectacle. Welcome to one of the biggest NASCAR weekends on the schedule.
3 by 3 to the line.
Nearly 200 miles per hour. Crashes, chaos, and checkered flag dreams. Driver interviews, race prep, campground madness. The party never stops. It's loud, it's legendary, and it's all Talladega. Buckle up, there's the green flag. Let's go.
I have never seen anything like that.
Welcome to the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. I'm Jeff Spiegel along with Johnny Congdon.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. It's great to be here at one of NASCAR's most iconic tracks, and you can always count on great action, and we know the big one is likely to.
Oh, no doubt about it. And it's not just us here. We've got the whole team for the next hour. We've got meteorologist Evan Chick-Vera here, and we're keeping an eye on the weather forecast for race day Sunday, the Yellowwood 500.
That's right. Gracie Johnson's out there making the rounds at the campgrounds where, of course, we all know it can get pretty crazy. Fans getting pretty excited for the high speed and the high bend that only Talladega can deliver.
You know, it's been dry for so long. I mean, you would think we could hang on to that long enough through race weekend. But that doesn't appear to be the case. Evan Chick-Vera joins us here at the racetrack. And Evan, how are we looking for race day?
Go figure. It hadn't rained in some spots in like a month, and here we are looking at a potential for rain into the weekend. I will say, Johnny, you mentioned high banks, high octane racing. How about high heat? Temperatures right now in the upper 80s in a lot of spots, but all eyes, of course, are on the weekend. So look quickly at your evening planner. It's going to be a warm evening, a dry evening, and we'll segue right into a morning that's once again on the cooler side. So looking ahead to our race day forecast, this is the race weekend, and what we're looking at here as we move forward is the potential for rain, but it's very minimal here as we head into the next couple of days. So this is a look at your 3-day forecast for Talladega Superspeedway. The Craftsman race, which kicks off at 3 o'clock tomorrow, is going to be hot, dry, partly cloudy skies. Same deal for the Xfinity Series. And then you see that rain icon on Sunday for the Cup Series. Big race, as Johnny and Speegs have talked about. We're going to break that down hour by hour coming up, talk about when the rain will arrive, when it will depart, everything you need to know for the forecast coming up.
Yeah, if you need to know anything and everything about race weekend at Talladega, and we'll go back to Evan Chick-Vera for more weather updates a little bit later on. There's really only one person to go to.
That's right. We welcome in now the president of Talladega Superspeedway. It's Mr. Brian Crichton. And Brian, let's address the elephant in the room. Rain is coming on Sunday, so what's the plan?
Yeah, well, guys, first of all, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
NASCAR has been through it before, and we're prepared for it. So whatever Mother Nature throws at us, we're going to get after it. We've got over 20 to 25 pieces of equipment that will dry the track from high-velocity air to jet dryers that'll put the heat in the asphalt. We've got sweepers that'll pick up that water. So we're going to get it dry, and we're going to get racing on Sunday.
Johnny and I have covered a few of these races, but there may be folks out there who have never been to a race, believe it or not. What are they missing by not being here?
I mean, the exhilaration, the speeds of 195 to 200 miles an hour, the people that are here. I mean, it touches every single one of your senses. I mean, you feel it, you hear it, you smell it. It's just everything. So if you have not been out to Talladega Superspeedway, if you have not seen the trucks or cars going almost 200 miles an hour in pack, you've got to come out here and try it.
Brian, is there a little more juice in this place considering it's a playoff race? And I know the drivers aren't here yet, but I'm starting to feel the tension around the race course.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in the round of 8 now, and so there's 8 drivers in each one of the series that are vying for those 4 spots in the championship. So Denny Hamlin for the Cup Series, he won at Vegas last week. He punched his ticket into Phoenix Championship. So whoever wins here, if they're one of those 7 playoff drivers in any of the series, they're automatically punched their ticket in. It is big time pressure right now. They want to win at Talladega. Some need to win at Talladega to make sure they get to Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the drivers, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, no wins at Dega. Brian, is it more likely the winner could come from those spots 5 through 8? William Byron, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, all great super speedway races. In fact, our racers, Elliott, Logano, and Blaney, a combined 8 wins here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, William Byron won Daytona. And I mean, those are some great drivers, and they know it's coming down, especially Ryan Blaney. It's coming down to Talladega and in Martinsville. He's going to have to win one of those two, or just everybody else is going to have to fall apart in order to move forward. And Ryan Blaney's strong here. Won the Coke Zero Sugar 400, the last high-speed super speedway race. So if I was a betting man, I might be putting some money over there.
Brian, it's really cool that you and the title sponsor, Yellowwood, you guys are going to honor Lulu Gribben and her mother at this event. Lulu, of course, the victim of that shark attack in June of 2024. That's just so cool.
Yeah, it's just just an amazing story. Obviously the resilience and how hard she's worked, to be in the spot she is now. So Yellowwood does a 5-star hero each year, and so it's nominations come in from all over the world, and so they picked Ann Blair and Lulu to be the honorary starter and also the Grand Marshal. So just a tremendous honor. We can't wait to welcome them here, and just to see it all and to see their reactions too when they see these cars doing 200.
And the surprises just keep on rolling, Jeff.
Yeah.
This week you're going to commemorate one of the most amazing things that has ever happened at this track here. Dale Earnhardt come from behind victory in the year 2000. Brian, you were here. You saw that race. What was the atmosphere like?
It was unbelievable. He came from 18 spots back within the last 3 laps. He had Kenny Wallace pushing him, and that's what happens at super speedway racing. I mean, you can be in 10th place, and then 2 laps later you're in number 1. And so Dale Earnhardt Sr. wins here in 2000 in October. It was his last win that he ever had, and we have that car, the car that he actually drove. It's here in our Talladega Garage Experience on display this weekend.
All right, Brian, thanks for joining us. Have a great race weekend.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Brian Crichton, president of the Talladega Superspeedway. Johnny, let's go back to the standings and show you how these guys have run here.
Yeah, Jeff, well, when you see this, you'll see how wide open and how wild this race can truly get. Everybody wants to win. That'll move them into the championship 4 at Phoenix. Denny Hamlin won last week at Vegas, so he's through to the championship 4. He's got 2 wins here. Kyle Larson, no wins, but back-to-back top 5s. Christopher Bell, I like him this week, Jeff. No wins at Dega, however. 2 top 10s and a top 5. And Chase Briscoe, no wins at Dega, but a top 5 finish.
I hate it, for sure. I hate Daytona probably even more. Talladega, you do have some room to kind of maybe maneuver your way through, but I don't know. It's just, for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out for me. I don't know. I feel like we have a good handle on it and like what it takes to run up front and contend for a win. We just haven't been able to do that.
You really have to survive, and you got to push hard, especially with it being in the round of 8 here. All of us are going to be pushing really hard to score points throughout the stages, which means you're going to be racing aggressively and you're going to be up in the thick of it. And more than likely there's going to be a crash at some point. So hopefully you end up on the good side of it. Talladega in the round of 8 is going to be it's going to make all of us not sleep well next week. That's for sure.
And coming up, we're going to look at those spots 5 through 8. One of the biggest attractions this race weekend at Talladega, of course, Jeff, the campground.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Gracie Johnson, I mean, she's an Alabama girl, former Oak Grove Tiger. She knows all about Talladega. She fought for this campground assignment. Gracie, what's going on out there?
Yeah, Jeff, these are my kind of people out here, and let me just tell you, it's already packed. Some of these fans say that they've been camping out here for several decades, but ahead of Sunday, it's already started. Fans have hauled in campers, grills, and a whole lot of excitement, some driving hundreds of miles just to be part of NASCAR's wildest weekend.
There's no place like Talladega Superspeedway. It took us 2 days to get here. The trip was worth it.
For others, it's not just the trip that's an adventure, it's the tradition that keeps them coming back year after year. Spencer Williamson tells me that he's been coming to Talladega since he was 8 years old. That's almost 45 years.
There's a lot of good people. I mean, you got to come to Alabama. We're the best people in the whole world. You can ask anybody from Canada, Indiana, Texas, they're all here. And they come because Alabama are the nicest people anywhere.
And I hear it's only going to get louder from here. The infield here will be packed by the time Sunday rolls around. Live in Talladega, Gracie Johnson, ABC 3340 News.
Yeah, Gracie, well, this track is 2.66 miles around. There's a lot of room for a good time, so we're going to check in with Gracie, Jeff, in our next half hour.
Yeah, but there are other stories making headlines across central Alabama today. Let's head back to the studio with Ashanti Ford for a news update. Ashanti.
Hey, guys. It looks like you guys are having a good time out there. Let's go ahead and switch gears for a second to take a look at the top stories happening right now. We're following breaking news out of Birmingham. Police are investigating a homicide at a gas station. Here's what the team learned when they got to the scene. This happened right in the 5400 block of Jefferson Avenue Southwest. Officers posted to social media about the death right around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Several questions, though, remain unanswered, like what led to this person's death and has a suspect been arrested? But, of course, ABC 3340 will provide the latest online as we learn more. Also at this hour, investigators say the owner of 3 Tuscaloosa area massage parlors are now facing felony charges after an 18-month human trafficking investigation. This is the map here coming up where you can see where all of this took place. Task force members arrested 70-year-old Jingping Shin, accused of promoting prostitution at Apple Massage Spa, Tuna Massage, and Eastern Massage. His bond has been set at $10,000. Officers found 9 women living inside the business, all adults and all immigrants. Now, Homeland Security is really helping to determine who may be victims of trafficking. Officials say these were blatant prostitution services offered out in the open, and his team is now working to make sure the women get help. And a former Birmingham Board of Education candidate is taking her opponent to court, claiming he wasn't even living in the district when voters went to the polls. Pamela Bass lost the runoff election to Antoine Womack, but now she's suing, saying Womack was evicted before the race and failed to meet residency requirements. Now, coming up at 5, find out what a Jefferson County judge is expected to do by the end of this week. And that's your quick news update. Back to you guys live in Talladega.
All right, thanks, Ashanti. Back here at Dega, the fun is just getting started.
That's right. We got a jam-packed hour getting you ready for Talladega.
And we'll take you on a ride around Talladega Super Speedway. Buckle up.
And we'll hear from the guys who's leading the playoff standings after his 60th career win.
The challenge of winning a cup race at any racetrack is massive, but to be able to do it here at Talladega and to be able to have such a fast car and lead as many laps as we have in events past here and be able to get it done finally is a huge testament to the team, total team effort.
It seems like a long time ago, but it was only April, half a year ago, when Austin Cindric in a close finish, go figure, beat Ryan Preece by about 3 feet to get the win in the Jack Links 500. Cindric, of course, not a part of the playoff field. And I miss that Jack Links guy.
The Yeti?
Yeah, I do. Welcome back to ABC 3340 on the road at Talladega Superspeedway. In the last block, we looked at the top 4 drivers in the standings.
Yeah, that's right. Now let's take a look at the bottom 4. Those guys below the cut line at the moment and their resumes when it comes to Talladega. William Byron is 5th. 15 points below the cut line. He's got 5 top 5 finishes, 2 top 10s here, but he's won the last 2 Daytona 500s. Then look at the last 3. Chase Elliott, 2 wins. Joey Logano, 3 wins. And Ryan Blaney, 3 wins. Now let's hear from 3 of those drivers.
Talladega has been good to us historically. We've not won a race there, but I feel like we're always in the mix and always up in the top 5. So I feel good how we can run at Talladega. It's just you never know what can happen. You never know what wrecks are going to happen, towards the front of the field and things like that.
It's one of those places that there's a lot that's out of your control. I think that, goes without being said, but I think that you have to really learn to respect those places, with Talladega and Daytona and kind of learn to like them at least a little bit.
You feel it. It affects people differently, though, right? Some people step up to the plate and get excited. Other people want to squirm away a little bit, right? And just think, man, I just don't want to screw up, right? Like, you don't want to have that attitude either.
How does it affect you? I'd be no shock if Joey Logano won. I mean, if William Byron won, any of those, bottom 4 drivers. But, to do that, Johnny, they got to get around this track without running over anybody or getting run into.
If there's anybody here that knows about this track, Jeff, it's me, because Tuesday I had a chance to ride around this historic racetrack in the pace car thanks to TSS President Brian Crichton. And, Jeff, we didn't have to worry about lapped traffic. It was like a smooth Sunday drive. Jeff, when I applied for this job back in 2021, I think I was going to cover Alabama football, Auburn football, some basketball, baseball, and then there's other duties assigned. Chalk up today as other duties assigned as we are just taking off on pit lane, and I'm lucky enough to be joined by the president of Talladega Superspeedway. It's Brian Crichton. And Brian, just tell the folks where we are right now and just how fast we're going.
Yeah, welcome to Talladega Superspeedway. We're getting ready to go into turn 1 here. 33 degrees of banking makes this the steepest racetrack in all of NASCAR. We're doing about 95 miles an hour right now. I actually don't have my hands on the wheel just because the banking is so steep. It just takes us right around. So coming out of turn 2 here, you're going to look down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch, which is one of the longest straightaways in all of NASCAR.
So with the race coming up this Sunday, the Yellowwood 500, typically in the spring, that's one of the bigger races. However, now we're in postseason contention. Can you just talk about the stakes come Sunday?
Yeah, playoffs. 3 great NASCAR playoff races this coming up weekend. The Cup Series on Sunday, the Yellowwood 500. We're in the round of 8 now, so there's 8 drivers that are vying for that championship in Phoenix 2 weeks after our race. So if you win here at Talladega, you are into the championship in Phoenix. So the stakes are high here, pressure's high. Everybody wants to win at Talladega.
Now, you were telling me off camera just a minute ago that there's some cool attractions this Sunday for fans to check out, including maybe the greatest racer of all time's car is going to be memorialized in the infield. Can you tell us a little more about the Intimidator's vehicle?
Yeah, absolutely. Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s last win was right here at Talladega Superspeedway back in October of 2000. 25th anniversary of that win. So we have the actual car, not a show car. It is the car that'll be on display here during the event weekend. We also have Richard Childress and others from RCR Racing that'll be doing question and answer sessions. We want to provide to Dale Earnhardt Sr. His memory and what he means to this sport.
Now, this racetrack doesn't change, but the rules and the regulations and the way that NASCAR is consumed by fans has changed. I'm interested how you've seen strategy on the course, on the track, differ as different technology has become available, whether it be restricted plate racing or the different forms of dragging.
Yeah, absolutely. And NASCAR is more than just cars going around in circles. There's a lot that goes to it. All of the engineering, all of the different things that they put together to make sure that they are in the front of the pack. So fuel economy is one of the things that's hitting the super speedways right now, but it still makes it exciting, especially when it comes down to the finish of the stages or the finish of the race, because everybody wants to get across that finish line first.
Well, Brian, thanks so much. We're going to check in with you live at 6 o'clock so fans can get some tips and tricks as they're ready to head out to the Yellowwood 500 this Sunday. We're going to go head to Victory Lane. Speaks, back to you.
All right, let's talk views here. Take a look at this. I love Skycams, but you can't beat this. This is the infield. There's the big monitor that you'll see if you're at the race. And then if you swing around here, this is pit lane. Absolutely awesome view here. I came as a kid, never been this close. Start finish line's down there. And of course, you've got that beautiful tri-oval right here in front of us. So will it stay dry? Let's get right to the weather maps here. This is a look Saturday at 7 o'clock. So we have an incoming front. So what we're gonna see is this front approaching by about midnight, all right? And as this moves across central Alabama, you're gonna notice some of these colors get lighter. This is gonna be what we call a decaying front. This will be falling apart by early morning, and I've got it out of here by, really about 1 o'clock, so about the time the race starts, but anything right around that time is probably gonna be very light and not impactful. Rainfall totals through the next couple of days, look at over near Talladega, 1/10 of an inch. If we get 1/10 of an inch of rain, this track is gonna dry no problem, so that is certainly some good news. So with that in mind, here is your updated Yellowwood 500 Talladega Sunday forecast at the souvenir trailers in the morning, tailgating could be a little wet, but low chance of rain at 1 o'clock for the green flag, and for the checkered flag, sunshine and cooler temperatures by the time we head home. And hey, the next story, cooler air. How about upper 40s on Monday morning? Certainly going to start to feel a little bit more like fall, and that will be the case for early next week. Beautiful highs in the upper 70s. Another check here from Talladega coming up next.
ABC 3340 on the road today at Talladega Superspeedway. We're getting you ready for the big NASCAR weekend, culminating with the Yellowwood 500 Sunday. Denny Hamlin is the wily veteran of this group. His first Cup race at Talladega, Johnny, May of 2006.
Yeah, he might be 44 years old. However, he seems to be getting better with age. He's the leader after winning at Las Vegas and clinching his spot in the championship 4.
Hamlin got his 60th career NASCAR Cup Series victory with that win, so the pressure is off for him this week. But the pressure amps up in Phoenix. Hamlin has won all those races, but he's never won a Cup Series title. He feels like all the pieces are in place, the stars are aligned for him to finally lift the hardware when the dust settles in Phoenix November 2nd.
I mean, it'd be icing on the cake. I've accomplished way more than what I truthfully planned on or budgeted for. It would just be icing on the cake. I don't know how. I don't know what it would mean because I haven't been through it yet. You know, I didn't know the significance of 60 until it actually happened. And so I need to see it to believe it.
The perfect campground coming up next on the road at Talladega. Gracie Johnson takes us to Talladega Superspeedway Campground, or as some NASCAR.
This is Talladega, where speed meets spectacle. Welcome to one of the biggest NASCAR weekends on the schedule.
3 by 3 to the line.
Nearly 200 miles per hour. Crashes, chaos, and checkered flag dreams. Driver interviews, race prep, campground madness. The party never stops. It's loud, it's legendary, and it's all Talladega. Buckle up, there's the green flag. Let's go.
I have never seen anything like that.
Yes, welcome back to the high banks of Talladega. Those banks 3 stories tall. I'm Jeff Spiegel here along with Johnny Congdon.
Yeah, Jeff, it's great to be here at one of NASCAR's most iconic tracks, and you can always count on some great action. And, Jeff, you always know the big one. It's right around the corner.
Yeah, that Boston accent comes out every now and then. It's great anytime we get out of the building and be at a place like this. We've got meteorologist Evan Chikvera here, and we're keeping an eye on the weather, Johnny, because rain is in the forecast for race day Sunday.
That's right. Plus, Gracie Johnson is out there making the rounds at the campgrounds where it could get pretty hectic and crazy. Fans pretty excited for that high-speed, high-bank action that only Talladega can deliver.
And it has been dry for so long, but a change is coming.
That's right. And you know what? We got to get a look at our forecast. Of course, we have Evan Chikvera. He joins us here at the track. And Evan, how are we looking for race day?
Well, I got to say, the rain chances have gone down. Now, the chances are probably higher that I trip going up this embankment here. So this is a very steep, and this isn't even close to the bank turns in turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, this is nuts. Johnny speaks, forget about getting out of the office. How about getting onto a raceway, a super speedway? Absolutely gorgeous evening. Here's your forecast as we head into the weekend. Tomorrow, no issue. Saturday, no issue for the Xfinity Series. Things are looking just fine, and that will likely be pivoting a little bit on Saturday night. We'll discuss that more coming up. Another hot afternoon. We hit 90s again here in October, so we'll talk much more about the timing of this rain. I'll tell you this, I won't make you wait. Rain chances have gone down. Totals have gone down. It's looking better for race day. Details on that in your 7-day are coming up in just a few minutes.
Yeah, that's certainly good news, Evan. Talladega, a great place to people watch, Jeff, and that includes celebrities, driving cars, and the people who drive them as well.
Yeah, you always find some interesting stories. Some are good for TV, others, Gracie Johnson is having a blast today with some of the sport's biggest fans. Gracie, what's going on out on the campground?
Jeff, if you've never been to the infield here at Talladega, let me just tell you, this isn't just a campground. This is a way of life for some of these people, and the party here is already in full swing. Now, some of the fans today tell me that there's no place on earth they'd rather be. The infield at Talladega Superspeedway isn't just a campground, it's a community.
There's no place like Talladega Superspeedway. It took us 2 days to get here. The trip was worth it.
Some trips take a little extra horsepower to finish.
About another hour into the trip, a tire blows out on the camper, so then we on side the road, try to be like a NASCAR pit crew. And then we finally got up here about 6:30 last night, right before dawn.
But once they roll through the gate, the stress fades fast.
Coming to see the people that you see every race, used to we come to watch the race. We still like the race, but it's more about seeing the people on the infield that you've met through the years, and it's kind of like a family reunion.
And for some, that family reunion's been decades in the making.
44 years, yeah, I'm 54 years old. I came when I was 8, and I missed a few races here and there, but yeah, it's been a good time.
And it doesn't matter how you're camping at Talladega. Everyone's here for the same reason.
You might have a $500,000 motorhome on one side of you, and you got a old school bus sitting on the next side of you, and everybody's just here for a good time and having fun.
And as the sun goes down, the infield only gets wilder.
Some of the things that happen on Talladega Boulevard on Friday and Saturday night are probably you can't really talk about on TV.
Anything from naked people walking up and down the road to people sleeping by generators right behind your camper and not knowing they're going to probably die, but you find them and you move them. It's Talladega. Really, I shouldn't be saying this because what goes on here stays here.
But one thing fans can agree on, they're ready for race day.
I'm also looking forward to Joey Logano taking this race.
And I hear that it's only going to get louder from here. By the time Sunday rolls around, this infield will be packed. Live in Talladega, Gracie Johnson, ABC 3340 News.
Now, Jeff, those guys are having a great week. You know who's not having a great week? Ryan Blaney, who last week in Las Vegas, crashing early, he finished 38th.
Yeah, he's 8th in the playoff rankings right now, so he's probably excited to come to Talladega with a chance to get his 4th checkered flag at a place where many drivers dread to drive.
Yeah, that place has been really good to me over the years. There are some years it's been really bad, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. But I've had good fortune there of being in a position to win some races, and I enjoy going there every year.
You could call him Agent 007. He won at Dega in 2019 and 2020 in photo finishes by .007 seconds. And there's something magical about that number 12. The 12 car won at Dega in 2023 by .012 seconds.
Some guys, before they go to like Talladega, Daytona, they don't really look forward to it, and that's not really a good mindset to have, right? You got to go in there and just put it in your head of, hey, this might not go my way today. I might get caught up in a big mess, and it's not my fault, but that's just the way it goes, and it's it stinks, but you move on from it. I just try to figure out how do we find ourselves in a spot to lead laps, and safest place to be, kind of controlling the field. But yeah, it's been fun to win there a few times, and who knows, I'd like to add another one.
Blaney would also like to add to his collection of Jordan racing shoes. He got his first pair from legendary Basketball Hall of Famer and 2311 team owner Michael Jordan. Jordan giving the star Penske driver an assist in getting a win at Loudon.
To see him as involved in the sport as he is, I think is pretty amazing, honestly. And so I've been asking him for probably a handful of months, man, I'd love to get some racing shoes from you and see what they're all about. And he did me a solid. He made me a pair, and they were 1 for 1. I debuted them at Loudon, and they won. That's been pretty cool. I've got a lot of questions about that. And there goes the rumor mill of Blaney to 2311 with Jordan shoes on. But they're just shoes. But yeah, it's pretty cool to get to have those, and for him to go out of his way and make me a pair. I thought that's pretty special.
So much more to come, including a trip around the International Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Johnny and I will give you our picks for Sunday. Plus, and as you mentioned, the Hall of Fame, Johnny, we'll check out what's happening over there with our good friend Adam Stocks. We lost a good friend in Grant Lynch, the president of Talladega Superspeedway, for 26 years. Lynch died October 2nd at the age of 71. When Lynch was named track president in 1993, he said his goal was to make Talladega the most fan-friendly place on the circuit. His catchphrase, it's more than a race. Welcome back to On the Road at Talladega. If you're going to the Yellowwood 500 race this weekend, Johnny, you need to carve out some time to go to the International Motorsports Hall of Fame.
That's right. As earlier today, videographer Ian Liddell stopped to visit with the Hall of Fame Executive Director Adam Stocks.
The International Motorsports Hall of Fame is over 30,000 square feet. We've got over 130 vehicles. Obviously, we've got a lot of NASCAR in here. Behind me, John Force, the all-time winningest driver and owner of NHRA. We have a Brittany Force Top Fuel coming, but if it has wheels, we pretty much have it here at the Hall of Fame. We have the number 8 Budweiser Dale Earnhardt Jr. car. That's the car Jr. was driving when his father was killed in Daytona. That's the baseball-themed car. All that car did was win. It won at Talladega 4 times. It won at Daytona 1 time. It came in second at Daytona 4 other times. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. was here a few months back, he and Cletus McFarland, and they went right to that car, talked about it. Dale Jr. talked about, what made that car so special. So these cars have such a great story behind them.
Our thanks to Adam Stocks. And coming up next, we'll check in on what one of the rising stars on the Xfinity Series and why folks at our TV station are pulling for him to do well.
It's not only playoff time in the Cup Series, Jeff, but in the Xfinity Series and Craftsman Truck Series as well. In fact, the Xfinity Series race, the United Rentals 250, is Saturday at 3 p.m. You can watch that on our sister station, CW21.
And one of the drivers in the Xfinity Series will be racing with our station logo on his car, Nick Sanchez, who won in Atlanta in June.
I'm pretty excited to have it on the car Saturday. It's gonna be pretty cool. I think it's been an up and down year. Obviously, we got our first win together this June in Atlanta, so that's always good when you can do that with the team. But I think we're really starting to peak at the right time. When I look at these last couple of races, it's really just a culmination of all our learnings throughout the year. And you definitely always want to end the season on a high note, and I think we're really building towards that.
Nick, how about Talladega? How challenging is that track?
Talladega, it's obviously in the same grouping as Daytona as far as super speedways go, and it's just one of those places that every single racer is in contention at some point. I feel like it's one of those places where you're always on edge. You could obviously never really take a break. Stuff's always happening. Your mind's always moving. It's a really fun track, but it's very, I guess, agonizing, right? Because some things you just can't control, and as a race car driver and a competitor, you want to be able to control every variable possible. And Talladega is just one of those that, I know my competitors know that some things are just out of your hands, and it's just going to happen.
Stand by. Wow, I tell you what, how about this for a view at 5 o'clock? Absolutely gorgeous. Now look behind me. Look at the scope of this track. Massive, 2.5 miles around. The bankings go to 33 degrees, and the amount of insane finishes that have taken place just yards from me, too many to count. And as we approach Sunday, these seats are going to be full. The cars are going to be loud, and hopefully the weather is going to be good. But it absolutely incredible to just see the scope of how large this track is. If you've ever come to Talladega, Once you walk down here, it's completely different. So how is the forecast looking? Let's take a look at the next 3 days. A lot of folks get here on Friday. They start camping, and that was exactly what we did. A lot of folks are already out in the family area. There's several people camping on the infield. Tomorrow, Friday, for the Craftsman Truck Series, the Love's RV Stop 225. Partly cloudy, mostly cloudy. Temperatures in the 80s, mid-80s there. Will be mostly sunny on Saturday, 85. By Sunday, you'll see that icon, but it's a little bit misleading. So let's give it some context here as for what to expect as we move forward. So again, these are our headlines for the next couple of days, and we're likely to see the trend of these rain chances to continue to drop here as we move forward. So with respect to rain chances, as we get into Saturday afternoon, they're going to drop off in a big way. And I think that is going to make for a very nice forecast for us here as we roll into race day. So this is a look at how things will be starting out. We will have rain. If you're headed to the souvenir trucks, if you are tailgating, you'll deal with light showers in the morning. I really think by the time the race gets started, we're either looking at sprinkles or it's cloudy, and the rain will have pushed out. It'll be a bit breezy, but I have a good feeling about race day. I've been wrong before, but based on everything I've watched, things are looking good. We'll have another update on your weather. Full forecast coming up.
In ABC 3340, we're tracking lots of developing stories this afternoon. Coming up at 5, a homicide investigation at a gas station in Birmingham, plus an arrest for an alleged human trafficking out of multiple spas right out in West Alabama. That's all ahead in your news at 5.
Talladega has been the site of so many big NASCAR memories.
And many of them still talked about today. Let's take a look at some of the best. Let's go back 14 years to April 17th, 2011, the closest finish in Talladega history. Most of the race was marked by two-car drafting, but on that last lap, 8 cars broke away, contending for the win. Jimmy Johnson, pushed by Dale Jr., won the race by 2 1/1000ths of a second over Clint Boyer.
And it was speed like no other in May of 1987. Bill Elliott shattered records with a pole speed of 212.809 miles per hour. That blistering lap pushed stock cars into open wheel territory, fast, furious, and frightening. Just days later, a terrifying crash by Bobby Allison sent his car into the catch fence. NASCAR knew the line had been crossed. The result? Restrictor plates, and Elliott's speed still untouched.
Now, the legacy of the Allison family is always talked about at Talladega, and for good reason. Donnie Allison won twice here. Brother Bobby won 4 times, and Bobby's son Davey won 3 times, taking the checkers in 1987, 89, and 92. The week before the July 1992 Talladega race, he was hurt in a crash at Pocono. He had a broken collarbone and wrist and had surgery on his arm. He spent 4 days in the hospital, Jeff, only to show up days later to Talladega, and guess what? He raced. Davey Allison completed 6 laps so he could earn points before a relief driver eventually took over.
Tough guy. The 1993 Winston 500 ended in dramatic fashion. At the finish, Rusty Wallace would suffer a major crash while crossing the finish line. Dale Earnhardt bumped Wallace, sending him into a series of flips and tumbles. He crossed the finish line 6th, was taken to a hospital in Birmingham, had a concussion and a broken wrist.
Let's go to the year 2000 with just 4 laps to go. Dale Earnhardt was 18th. His fans headed for disappointment, but as the laps clicked off, Dale kept moving forward. The race announcers asked, how did he get through those cars? The crowd was deafening as he took the lead on the last lap. It was his 76th and final win of his illustrious career, the 10th win for the Dega Dominator.
And in April 2003, Dale Earnhardt Jr. made Talladega history, becoming the first driver to ever win 4 straight races at NASCAR's biggest track. Starting from the back after an engine change, dodged a massive 27-car wreck, pulled off a controversial pass for the lead. Some said he went below the yellow line. NASCAR said it was clean, and with that, Jr. sealed the legend, and victory lane roared with 160,000 fans. So, the show's almost over, but the fun is just beginning here in Dega.
Yeah, that's right. It's the Talladega Garage Experience, which features the car that Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator, drove to that classic comeback to get his final victory 25 years ago, Jeff.
There's the Buckin' Dega Rodeo. We wanted you to take part in that, but you chickened out on us. You can pay $100. I'll pay you $100 if you stay on that bull, or Well, not anyone, but you.
Well, Saturday at 7 on Talladega, Eastaboga Boulevard, Whiskey Myers in concert. There's a lot more to do here than just racing, Jeff.
Yeah, the Craftsman Truck Race Friday at 3, the Xfinity Series race Saturday at 3, and then Sunday, the big show, the Yellowwood 500 at 1 o'clock.
So who do you like in the race Sunday?
I'm going with Joey Logano.
I'm going with Christopher Bell. I think he's due. I think he's one of the best racers on the track. He's going to get it done here at Talladega for the first time.
He's third in the standings right now. That's all the time we have for this special On the Road at Talladega on ABC 3340.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. Looking forward to a great race on Sunday.